make every court her home court. Are you looking forward to this matchup with her?
That's true. Yeah, she has a great fan base, and it looks like it's an incredible atmosphere every time she steps out to play a match. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I love a packed stadium, and I love a good atmosphere. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be a great match, even though they're probably going to be rooting for her, more for her end, but I don't mind it, and I'll...
Amanda Anisimova now finds herself staring down a fixture that has the entire tennis world talking. And if you listen closely to what she said after her own opening win in Cincinnati, you can hear a player who already knows this is not going to be a normal round of 32 match. Anisimova was asked directly about facing Alex Eala for the very first time on tour, and her response told you everything about the size of what is coming. She admitted she has never played Eala before, called her season incredible, described her as a very great player with a lot of fans, and then added the line that really stood out. She said she is expecting a very packed stadium.
I'm trying to keep things really simple, as I said, with the serve and the return, maybe +1. I'm trying to dial down on that, but apart from that, just finding my game. It's been an interesting year for me, not as expected.
That is not just a throwaway comment. That is Anisimova, a two-time Grand Slam finalist and the world number 10, essentially telling everyone that when she walks out for this match, she will not just be facing Eala. She will be facing an entire stadium that has turned itself into a home crowd for the Filipina. And if you have followed this Cincinnati Open even a little, you know exactly why she felt the need to bring that up before a ball has even been struck between them. So why would a top 10 player, someone who has already reached 2 major finals, go out of her way to mention the crowd before she has even faced her opponent on the court? The answer is simple. Eala's fan base has become one of the defining stories of this entire hard-court swing. Wherever she plays, whether it is Toronto, Washington, or now Cincinnati, the stands fill up like it is a home tournament in Manila. Commentators, former players, and even rival competitors have talked openly about how loud, how passionate, and how relentless her support has become. Renee Stubbs went as far as saying broadcasters covering these matches were stunned by how emotionally invested the new wave of fans is, cheering and reacting in ways that are unusual for tennis crowds. For most opponents, that atmosphere becomes a genuine obstacle, because you are not just playing Eala's shots, you are playing against the noise, the energy, and every swing of momentum the crowd hands her. Anisimova clearly understands that dynamic is coming for her too, and choosing to mention it out loud, before the match, tells you she has already started preparing mentally for a hostile road environment on what is technically a neutral court. Now let's talk about how Eala actually arrived at this blockbuster clash, because her second-round performance against Elena Ruse was nothing short of ruthless. Eala came into the match looking for a measure of revenge, since Ruse was the last player to beat her, denying her a maiden Grand Slam main draw back at the 2024 US Open qualifiers. This time, Eala made sure there would be no repeat. She was broken in the very first game of the match, which for a moment looked like it could be trouble, but that opening hiccup turned out to be completely misleading. Eala responded by ripping off 6 straight games, sweeping through the 4th game, and then grinding out a comeback in the 5th to seal the opening set 6-1. Ruse simply had no answers on serve. In that first set alone, the Romanian won only 2 of 16 points on her own first serve, an almost unheard of number at this level, and it perfectly captured just how dialed in Eala's return game was. The dominance carried straight into the second set, where Eala ripped off 3 more games in a row, capping it with a thunderous backhand winner to go up 3-0. Ruse called for a medical timeout to have her ankle retaped. Play was then suspended for lightning and rain, and when the players were cleared to return, Ruse made the decision to retire from the match altogether due to the injury. Eala walked away with a 6-1, 3-0 victory, her revenge complete, and the head-to-head between the two now level at 1-1. On the other side of the draw, Anisimova was going through her own business with the kind of ruthless efficiency that has defined her season. She opened her Cincinnati campaign against Zeynep Sönmez, the first Turkish player ever to appear in the Cincinnati Open main draw in the Open era, and there was no upset brewing here. Anisimova cruised to a 6-2, 6-3 win in just 76 minutes, smacking down 7 aces along the way and breaking Sönmez's serve 6 separate times. It was a complete, controlled performance from a player who has spent this season proving she belongs among the very best in the world. And it set up exactly the kind of statement clash the WTA calendar needed heading into the US Open swing. Make no mistake, Anisimova is not some overwhelmed underdog walking into this match. She is a genuine talent who has been remarkably consistent on the WTA Tour. and this season alone she has reached 2 major finals, cementing herself as one of the most dangerous ball strikers on tour. Her ranking inside the world's top 10 is not a fluke. It is the product of a level she has sustained match after match, tournament after tournament. That is exactly what makes this Eala clash so fascinating, because Anisimova is not walking in undercooked or unprepared. She is walking in as a proven big match player who has already been to the biggest stages tennis has to offer. And yet, even with all of that pedigree, there is a very real reason to believe Anisimova could be walking into serious heat here. Eala is not just riding a hot streak, she is riding one of the most remarkable runs anyone on tour has produced all year. She has already claimed her first career WTA title at the Washington Open, stunning Jessica Pegula in a rain-delayed final to become the first Filipina ever to win a WTA Tour-level title. Before that, she pulled off a historic upset over Iga Swiatek at Wimbledon, one of the biggest results of her entire career. And she also took down Elena Ruse during her breakthrough run in Berlin. Add in other top 10 scalps along the way, and you start to understand why so many players, coaches, and analysts around the tour view Eala right now as arguably the most dangerous floater left in this draw. She has made a habit this season of beating exactly the kind of accomplished, experienced opponent that Anisimova represents. And she has done it in front of crowds that only seem to get louder with every round she survives. Before we get into predictions for how this one plays out, I want to hear directly from you. Do you think Anisimova's experience on the biggest stages gives her the composure to handle both Eala's game and that stadium atmosphere? Or is this exactly the kind of matchup where Eala's momentum and home crowd energy overwhelm even a top 10 player? Drop your prediction in the comments below and let me know who you are backing to come out on top when these two finally step on court together. Make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on, because this Cincinnati clash is shaping up to be one of the matches of the entire tournament, and you will not want to miss how it unfolds. Anisimova walks into this one with the resume, the ranking, and the big match pedigree to feel confident. But Eala walks in with the form, the momentum, and an entire stadium that will feel like it belongs to her. This is exactly the kind of collision tennis fans live for, and Cincinnati is about to find out which factor matters more.